Guys, I'm Aaron Vogler. This is the Documented Journey. It is July 17th. Let me redo this. I don't know if the mic can call that up. My name is Aaron Vogler. It is July 17th, 6:28 p.m. All right, today overall was a great day. It was another good day. Um, I keep having these days where I don't make money. Um, but overall, okay, I need to make a video on this. Difference between perseverance and banging your head against a wall, right? Generally speaking, I think people lack the perseverance aspect, right? And so right now, I'd say over the past couple months, really since last September, I've been persevering and that I've made some money, really only a couple thousand, but because I've spent a couple thousand more than that. So at this point, I've spent more than I've made. Um, However, it's really me just persevering, and I'm not like trying to like applaud myself here, but I'm trying to remind myself and uh use the logic, remove the emotion, not freak out like, oh my gosh, I spent all this money. What am I don't know what I'm doing, all this sort of stuff. It's like, no, I am getting better at sales, at communicating, right? I'm getting better at running ads, at ranking websites, all these different things. So the skills, technical skills, and getting better at human or interactive skills or social skills or whatever, right? And so overall, and as a recap for today, I had a great conversation with Monica. We talked for like, I think half an hour or an hour. I think it was an hour actually. It was an hour. Got some interesting training or like AI sales simulations that she can go through that might help. Um, Also started a lawn care SEO prospect list because my brother has his mini lawn care company. I'm familiar with that, so hopefully can relate more and perhaps close more deals that way. Um, what was really cool today that I'm really excited about, guys, and I probably need to make a video on this. I'm cold calling, but taking keys out of my pocket was I had made a commitment yesterday when planning for today. I said I was going to do like my 4 targets. Heck, let me pull up those targets. Let me see what the schedule is. I honestly have kind of forgot I made this. I really should have been looking at this today. But let's see. All right. Share screen. Reviewing today. Right, what happened? All right. Bingo. I did it. Okay. So I got Monica set. Those were the high value targets. Okay. This one, guys. Cold call 30 minutes. I don't know what happened today, but for some reason I just really was like not feeling it. And I was literally so close to not cold calling today, not prospecting, right? Even though I've hired Monica, I'm having her do that. The reason for me to do that is because number one, just more needle moving action of like prospecting volume of outreach, right? So it just fills the sales pipeline. But number two, I need it's helping me to push past fear and uncomfortable, and it's helping my sales skills. So really 3 reasons that helps build up the sales pipeline. It helps me push past fear and being uncomfortable. And I should say quote unquote fear and quote unquote uncomfortable. It's because just my experience of it, right? And then number 3, increasing my sales skills, right? With each rep, each conversation, you get better and better, right? Um, it's like just exposure to it, right? You could absolutely get your fanny handed to you on a sales call. You could stutter, you could mess up. You're getting better. Literally, just because you're in that environment, you're exposed to it. And so I almost did not do this. And then I was starting to compromise, like, while I will, um, what if I just do at least one call? And I did one call and I stopped, right? I forgot what I did after that. And then I was like, well, what if I did 10 calls or only 10 minutes? Like, nope. I finally ended up just like, shoot, we're doing it. So I called for 30 minutes. Now, granted, I did pause for a couple minutes, kind of that within the 30 to like log because I got an appointment set. Theoretically, I don't think it's a great appointment. I think I could have done better and set it more qualified. But overall, I think I still would have gotten an appointment. Set an appointment. I got to work on my microphone, fix that because it sounds really bad. But overall, I did the 30 minutes and I did it. Not a big deal. Once I was like 3 calls through it, I was like, this isn't as bad as I was thinking. This is really helpful for my business. I'm helping people, helping me as a person. and it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. That was a little creepy there when it just whispered like that. I was thinking of you know who. Anyway, but so I just doing that. Like when it comes down, I was listening to Harris doesn't look bad after having a hat on. I was listening to Nick Wood recently, and it's like the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people, quote unquote, in the realm of finance, right? Or money. The successful people do what needs to be done when it needs to be done, regardless of how they feel. That needs to be done. It's literally 6:30 p.m. I'm back. I'm pretty much done for the night. I got some stuff to do. But like I'm not like I was trying to rationalize, but I might not have time, you know? I was like, no, I needed to do it, and I'm really proud of myself, honestly. I did it. And it doesn't even seem like on the surface, it's kind of small, but relative to me for where I was at in the moment, it's big. And so that was just huge. I'm really excited about that. And then I called the 2 prospects that we had left over from last week. Both said they weren't interested. Okay. Again, probably could have had a better pitch. I kind of stumbled over it, was caught off guard because I couldn't find the person's name. I was trying to pull open the tab. And then pre-call investigations, I did both of these. One person said they weren't interested actually, or hung up, or wasn't a good time, or whatever. And then I don't know what happened there. I don't even know if she was the business owner. That might be something we need to work on getting the business owner. And then lastly, pre-call investigation. Yeah, I did that. And then another person just wasn't a good fit for where she was at with her business. I flat out told her, there was no reason for her to pay 300, 500 a month for SEO services. I did the stuff with Nick Wood. I did sales training, read the Bible, exercise, shower, did lawns. It was a great day, guys. I did the stuff. And I really like kind of how I structured this, in that I have high value targets, like get those done. This is almost the to-do list, or the focus is like afterwards, like just have your time be doing that. Like don't be doing any other stuff until those things are done, right? And then having a schedule, right? And then I guess it's not really necessary, but really good how that played out. And so that was it for today for that. A couple other things I was thinking of today is a daily recap, and then I'll end this. I had written down some notes. I was listening to a little Chris Voss recently, and he talked about this, and I love like sentences that bring about clarity to an area. And I'm not talking about like deep stuff or like Mr. Motivational or whatever, but like just sentences that bring about clarity for different areas in life. And what he said was, people make choices about what they care about. That one sentence literally explains human nature, human interactions, personal choices, like everything. People make choices about what they care about. I'm like, shoot, that's good. I mean, it's so simple. Obviously, I think James Clear says it another way, like people take action to change their current state or for their future state, right? And so, of course, it's about the things they care about. So that was just like, man, that's good. I was thinking about that. Very interesting. And that helps with sales too, right? People are going to care about leads because they care about their business, because they care about money, because they care about taking care of their family, right? Or that progression or something like that. And so people make choices about what they care about. So they're very interesting. And of course, in sales, Cardone says it, Belfort says it. People only buy to solve problems, right? Now, it does depend on how you define a problem. You could say, well, my car doesn't make me feel I have a BMW, whatever, and I want an upgrade. I don't know what an upgrade, if a Tesla, or we'll say a Porsche, right? Like I have a BMW. My problem is I don't have a Porsche. I mean, depends on what you mean by problem. Their problem is they don't feel like, I don't know, as confident or social status or whatever, or they feel whatever, right? So you get the point though. Of problems, right? It's really just to change something, right? To having something you don't have. It could be a problem like, I mean, it doesn't have to be like a negative. It could be the problem is you don't have the positive, right? Or it's not more positive. So anyway, these were just some thoughts. And then Another thought that I had, well, this was recently, but life's too short just not to be cheerful or positive. And I need to make a video on that, but just that came to mind recently. And then today also, and in addition to what Chris Voss said, I wrote this down. The fundamental of life is how we operate in relationships. Like our life is one giant web of relationships. It's relationships to ourselves, like knowing our personal tendencies, likes, dislikes, behaviors, right? And then our relationship to others. That's it. Like that's fundamentally life. It's relationships. And then of course, I mean, I'd say relationship to God, right? Like that's fundamentally life. It's relationships. And so in the context of relationships to others, whether it be in family relationships, just friend relationships, right? I value friend relationships, value family relationships. In the context of business relationships, of sales, and even just outside sales, right? Sales is, I think business is sales, sales is business. In that context, sales is human interaction. I mean, relationships to others are just human interaction. It's how we interact, it's how we communicate. And I really need to make, I'm making a list of, I'm going to quickly make a list of videos to, topics to cover in videos, right? We'll say topics to, because I'm getting a lot of cool ideas here. Topics to, and honestly, to cover, I like making these videos because it helps bring more clarity to myself. And it's also going to be nice to be able to look back on, right? Because I mean, honestly, right now I'm making less than 1,000 a month. It's small beginnings. I'm almost catching myself at the beginning. Yeah. Okay. Topics to cover in videos. Life's too short not to be I mean, I like positive, but I prefer actually cheerful. Honestly sounds like even more biblical to me. But life's too short not to be cheerful. People make choices about what they care about. That might be even a good question to ask you, like if you're about to make a choice or not make a choice, you say, what am I caring about here more than something else? So if I decide not to make cold calls, that was a decision not to make cold calls because I cared about comfort more than I cared about success in the context of money or business. Man, my braces are like poking my tongue. But anyway, people make choices about what they care about. And then what was the other one I was just thinking about? Oh, sales. This has been a big one for me with conviction. And this kind of just a rambling one. These are just some thoughts for today and kind of going over what I did today. But sales. Okay, this was really big. I wrote this down in some notes because this was super important. Hang tight. Let me see. Dang, those were good too. I'm like not even seeing the notes. Okay, let me try to remember. It was really based off Hormozy, right? It was sales is helping people make decisions to help themselves. Sales is the transference of conviction over a bridge of trust, which means you need to believe in your product, have the other person trust you, and really what that equals is you care about the other person and their well-being, right? Lastly, so there's one other thing. Sales helping people make decisions to help themselves. Sales is the transference of conviction over a bridge of trust. Believe in your product and then have the other or service and have the other person trust you. Because the only way to build trust is if the other person cares about you. Here we go. difference between helping and manipulating is intent. These three right here, so foundational to sales. And I really need to make a video on this one because I've struggled with sales like ethically or morally. And part of it was I was using my fear, like I was letting my fear be masked by some self-righteousness when there was nothing wrong with what I was doing. I just was like too scared to pick up the phone and start calling people or appointments, whatever. But I do know part of it was if I was like, I had what if it was going against my like my morals, my ethics, or whatever you might call it, right? And I think as a Christian, in my place as a Christian, and so these three sentences are statements are so I'm going to put periods after each one. They are so just again, these sentences they help bring clarity. Sales is helping people make decisions to help themselves. That's what that is. Like when I'm talking to a business owner, I just had this earlier today. She was by herself, was like raising the kids but on her own, lawn care business, has her brother's help every now and then. She doesn't like in her context in the conversation, she did not need to spend $300, $500 on SEO services a month. Maybe in a year, maybe 6 months, but like that's just where she was. She wasn't even looking to grow too much, like because she didn't want to get overwhelmed. Okay, that was the context of a business owner we're working with right now. We're sending him a bunch of leads. I helped him make the decision to help himself. In that case, was buying my leads, my product, right? It's Concrete Guy. Been sending a bunch of leads. It's been great. It's been awesome. That was a decision. I coached him to that. It's coaching. That's literally what it is, coaching them. And then sales is the transference of conviction over a bridge of trust. Beautiful. Not only is this, I helps with ethics and getting sold like you're doing something right, but also helps just with like sales skills, right? So believing in your product or service, that it's really all that comes down to is it's the value. It's worth more to the prospects. It's worth more to the customers than the money they gave you for it. Or it's worth more to the prospects than the money they will give you for it. That's really what that is. Believing in your product or service, right? More of a logical buy. And then have the other person trust you. This is really simple. Just care about them. Like Hormozi talks about, humans are really good at sniffing out double crossing and inauthenticity. Just care about their well-being. And I don't think, and like for me, I mean, I generally like to think I'm a nice guy. I'm somewhat of a people pleaser, which is good and bad. But like I want to help people. I want to feel good about myself in that sense, where I feel good when I help people. I feel bad when I'm not helping people. And I want to help, and I know the way for me to make money is to really help people, like fundamentally. And so that's like taken care of. And then finally, and I know this video is kind of transferred over to sales, but this is just so helpful. The difference between helping and manipulating is intent. Because of course I've asked myself, like, when you're going over tonality or sales scripts or whatever, aren't you like manipulating them or taking advantage of them? Like if they wanted the thing, wouldn't they just do it? Well, no. You're communicating with them in a way, you are connecting with them in a way that you're communicating with them in a way that connects with where they're at and where they want to go. Okay. And even that, if that's just one product, if that's a service, if that's a partnership, sales is just getting better at sales is really just getting better at communicating and helping people solve problems. That's really what it is. And so the difference between helping and manipulating is intent. I don't want to trick someone into giving me money. I mean, especially in the context of a monthly thing of like 500, that's it. Like, not worth it, right? Because then when they realize you're tricking them or whatever, cancel. Like, even if it was $1 million. I don't want to trick people into giving me money. I want to help people. And I know that when I help people, that's how I make money. And part of the reason why I want to help people is because I make money, but part of the reason why I want to help people is because I like helping people. It makes me feel good. And so that's it, guys. This is gonna be the end of today. These are really good. This is so solid. I need to make some videos on here. pin this note. But for now, that's good for today. And yeah, we will see what happens tomorrow. All right, now we're ending it.